A study by the BLS found that the law is the least racially diverse profession in the US. Of the entire US population, 18.5% is Hispanic and 13.4% is Black. But only 4% of lawyers are Hispanic and only 4.7% of lawyers are Black. An interesting fact is that the percentages of Black and Hispanic lawyers haven't increased at all in the last 12 years. The problem is not a lack of concern among lawyers. A recent survey of managing partners of the 100 largest law firms and general counsel of Fortune 100 companies showed that virtually all the 53 participants in the study said diversity is a main concern. But they attributed the underrepresentation of minorities to the lack of candidates in the pool. Now, the question is, what is causing the lack of candidates in the pool? Access Prep's research shows that it's law school's admission process. According to Dr. Williams, a senior research analyst at AccessLex, from 2018 to 2019, only 48% of Black applicants received an admission offer from one or more law schools. This means that the majority of Black applicants, 52% of them, did not receive a single admission offer. So if we do the math right, then if 100 Black students took the LSAT and applied to law schools, only 48 of them heard back from the law schools they applied to. Before going deeper into law school admissions process, let's see where these 48 candidates would end up being in the pursuit of their legal career. The first year attrition rate is roughly 11% for Black students. Assuming that all 48 admitted students start the law school, totally ignoring the financial hurdles that make many change their minds after getting admitted to law school, 5 students dropped out in the first year. 11%, 5 students. After losing 5 students in the first year of law school, we are left with only 43 in the second year. According to the bar passage rate by the American Bar Association, only 66% of Black first-time test takers pass the bar on their first attempt, which means that 15 out of 43 students didn't pass the bar, assuming that none of them dropped out in the second or third year of law school. So basically, if 100 Black students took the LSAT and applied to law schools, only 48 were admitted, 43 made it to the second year, and 28 passed the bar exam. So if 100 started the race, only 28 made it to the finish line. The situation could not be more dire. This is only the statistical analysis of those who took the LSAT and applied to law schools. Not to mention that countless students give up while studying for the LSAT. Let's compare this to the results of white applicants. If 100 white students took the LSAT and applied to law schools, 78 would have been admitted, 74 would have advanced to second year, and 67 would have passed the bar exam on their first attempt. These numbers show a roughly 40% difference in the success rate of Black students and white students. So why focus on the LSAT? Well, roughly 50% of Black students who didn't get into law school because of low LSAT scores. The LSAT is the most significant part of law school application. Research by Aaron Teller, Executive Director of AccessLex, shows that the average score for white test takers is 153, while the average for Black test takers is 142. The difference is only 11 points, but on the percentile scale, 153 means 57th percentile and 142 means 17th percentile. A 40 percentile difference. These numbers also show that 50% of Black students scored in the lowest 17% of the whole pool of LSAT takers. Why do Black students score low? High-quality LSAT services are very expensive. And this is made worse by the fact that many people don't know how to put together a strong application. University of Baltimore School of Law professor Michael Merison said that it isn't that African Americans are not smart enough to do well on the LSAT. It's just they don't have access to people who know how to play the game. How will Access Prep tackle the problem? By end of this year, our goal is to build partnerships with 101 HBCUs and 539 HSIs, Hispanic Serving Institutes, to provide free or extremely discounted law school admission services. Next year, we plan to start working on a pipeline at an early access point, high school. We found that many law students first start thinking about going to law school in high school, so it makes sense to provide guidance and support at an early stage for them to make the right decisions during college. Will the LSAT be relevant after a decade or so? Yes, for 2 reasons. 1, LSAT gives a chance to students to show their potential when their GPA doesn't fully reflect it. 2, Standardized tests makes the admission process a lot simpler for admissions teams to make decisions. But even if the LSAT is discontinued, minority students will still have trouble getting to law schools because of differences in income and guidance. At Access Prep, we are committed to removing barriers to higher education for minorities, not just one test. As the challenges evolve, so will our products and strategy. You might be wondering why education matters so much. We believe that access to higher education has an immense impact on our democracy and society. According to research by the Yale University Institution for Social and Policy Studies in 2019, a powerful relationship between education and voter turnout exists. Researchers tracked the children in these experiments over the long term, examining their voting rates as adults. In all three studies, they found that externally induced challenges in high school graduation rates had powerful effects on voter turnout rates. These results imply that the correlation between education and turnout is indeed causal. Furthermore, the population growth rate of minorities, especially Hispanics, must be considered when planning for the future of US society. According to the US Census Bureau, the Hispanic population will grow from 18 to 28% by 2060. The white population will go from 61% to 44%. As the population grows, so will the demand for fair representation in all aspects of society, including the legal industry. Providing minority students with high-quality test prep and admissions guidance will give them access to higher education, thus preparing them to better lead the society in the future.